Greetings, party people. Happy Black Friday. Hooray. The time of savings and splurging. And I love it. I see it as a harvest moment in a way, right? Like we've got this opportunity to, you know what? Let me just do my little intro first. I'm doing things in the wrong order. Welcome to the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott, where I talk all about life, love, healing, witchcraft, magic, tarot, feminine energy, mediumship, and everything in between. And today I'm talking about Black Friday. Hooray. And again, okay, so I see it as a bit of a harvest moment. And I know, I used to hate Black Friday. I remember, I was reflecting back. I was reflecting black. I can't even talk today, you guys. What is going on? I was reflecting back on my Black Friday approach. I don't know, 2017, when I was a lot more young and spunky and opinionated. I'm still opinionated, but my opinions have changed, as they should, as we get older and more genius. But I remember I was like, I will not do Black Friday sales because it's stupid and disrespectful to the value of my products and blah, blah, blah. And to be fair, I was younger. I was way more broke. I was kind of living by the seat of my pants. And I was actually significantly undervaluing my services at the time. And I was undercharging probably based on the value of what my services actually were at the time, right? And so I was always stressed out about it and I just never did it. And then in the last few years, I've learned to actually value my services accurately. And so I've raised the prices. And so since I've done that, I felt so much more supported and appreciated and valued in the skills and services that I provide. And so it's actually become a bit of a joy to do a Black Friday sale. Like I've been excited for it. I've been looking forward to it. I feel like I can give abundantly in this way right now. Like that feels good to me, to be able to save you people some big money. Like that's fucking awesome. And I just love Black Friday, and I don't even love it for like consumerist reasons, even though I see nothing really wrong with consumerism. But if we think about it as like the end of the year and it's in Sag season, which is my season, yay. And like whatever the business is, like we've spent the year learning, producing, creating, whether that's clothing stores, making new product, or whatever. And this is the time where we really get to harvest as much as we can from the fruits of everyone's collective labor, whether that's through intellectual products like what I'm having on sale for Black Friday, or whether that's cheaper Lululemon leggings, which is also something I'm going to be looking at, or whether it's discount coffee beans or whatever. We have this production of so much stuff, and it really is the time to just harvest all of that. It's like going to the apple orchard and grabbing all of the apples that have been growing. Like I see Black Friday is kind of the same thing in a way, right? Everyone benefits. Like no one really loses on Black Friday. And I wish that was something that a lot of the critics of it would understand. Like no one really loses out, right? We all get what we need. There's cute savings. I benefit because I get to share my work with more people who maybe couldn't afford it or couldn't budget for it or whatever for other parts of the year. You guys benefit because you get access to something that you've been maybe wanting for a longer period of time. You get access to the knowledge, you get the benefits of your life, you get to change your life, you get some new spiritual skills to put in your spiritual, magical, witchy tarot toolbox, and everyone just wins. I just think it's awesome. Like, I just love it. I don't know. Like, but I've become more seasonal and more festive as I've gotten older, and I don't cringe at Christmas music anymore. I love all the ornaments and Christmas trees. I've like become that person who really has fully embraced the seasons of the year, because the seasons of the year have stopped involving trauma for me, and obviously I have my various trauma-versaries, as those of y'all have been around here for a while will be fully aware of. But I've really worked through it in a way that feels grounded and good, and like I feel very calm and chill most of the time. And so leaning into this seasonality is a newer thing for me, but honestly, it's been awesome. Like I've just really enjoyed it, you guys. And so I'm celebrating by doing my biggest ever Black Friday sale. And so I've decided that Black Friday every year from now on is going to be 50% off of almost everything, like most likely. And so, like, don't hold me to this. I might change my mind next year, you guys. Who knows? Maybe I won't do a Black Friday sale next year. But right now, it's feeling aligned, right? I want to do this right now. It feels good. And so, obviously, tarot readings and one-on-one coaching are not 50% off because that's so, like, labor-intensive and energy-intensive for me. And my Without Bullshit courses are not 50% off, but everything else... Oh yeah, other than my Ancestor Magic and Tarot for Mediumship, which I literally just taught, those are full price still. But everything else, like the master classes that I've taught over the last few years, including my Magic of Business course, which is also half price. So that to me feels exciting. It feels good. And so I just want to walk y'all through this and also talk a little bit about what Black Friday means to me, because I've never done such a massive sale before. Ever. I've never discounted anything 50% off, but I just kind of felt like I wanted to this year because over the years, you guys have shown me so much good vibes, so much love, so much appreciation, so much support, and just by being present, being in my sphere, like I just really appreciate it. And I really do feel like my life has transformed through the love and support I've gotten from all of you guys. If you're following my work, if you're just creeping around, my students, my clients, like everyone who has spent money with me, my larger community who's given me your attention, your eyeballs, I just really appreciate all you guys. And so I wanted to show some love and some good vibes back in your direction in the form of dollar bills, in the form of savings, yay. And I don't know, I think everyone loves money they don't have to spend, at least personally I do. I love a good sale. And so during this time of year, the impending holiday season, and I guess for my fellow Americans, the Thanksgiving vibe is happening. It just happened. We're kind of still recovering from that. Maybe we're still in that. Christmas is around the corner and other holidays around the winter, like those kind of winter holidays, Hanukkah, whatever else y'all celebrate. Many of us are going to have more free time during the holiday season, perhaps more so than we do during the rest of the year. And maybe, just maybe, you guys are ready to give yourselves some self-love, self-care, some peace, some learning, some spiritual transformation, just the easy stuff, spiritual transformation, no big deal. But some spiritual tools, some magical tools, some witchy tools to help you catapult into the next year, 2024, with some jet fuel behind you. And I don't know about you guys, but I always love diving really deep into my spirituality this time of year. It makes sense. Sagittarius season is pretty much right up until Christmas, from now until right before Christmas. And as Sagittarius, you guys probably know, Sagittarius season and Sagittarius people are all about philosophy, spirituality, diving deep, asking the big questions. We go deep, like wide, big picture. What is going on? What are the reasons for life? What do we want to spend our life doing? What can we be doing differently? How do we connect with the spiritual? How do we become more of who we're meant to be? These are all big Sagittarius questions, and this is, in my opinion, how we should be spending Sagittarius season. I think it's the perfect time of year to devote some time to yourself and your spiritual growth and your witchiness and your tarot practice and your affirmations and all of that. And maybe you're even going to be launching a new business or bumping up your business in the new year, right? Maybe that's something you want to do. And I know the holiday season can be especially stressful. I personally have come to love Christmas and New Year's, but I remember when things used to be really different for me. I didn't always used to feel this way, right? My past self, and maybe some of y'all have been around long enough that you'll know this, I used to dread this time of year. I was so upset and kind of like in a trauma spiral, and I wasn't sure how to even enact spiritual or verbal or physical boundaries with family or other obligations. I was just so pulled into that. Obviously, a lot of that changed. I stepped away from family Christmas stuff when I was turning 25, something like that, I think, if I can recall. And so that catapulted me into a completely different timeline, and I'm really thankful for my past self for that. But, you know, even when I did make that shift, it did take me a lot of fucking years to figure out how can I have a different relationship to this season. And I do have a course that I talked about a little bit last year, and I'm going to be talking about it again next month, called Healing Christmas for Witchy People. And so I don't want to get distracted because that course is not on sale right now, but just something to think about. But the witchiness, the spirituality, the ritual, all of that is what helped me pull myself out of the doldrums, the like gray, gloomy trauma space that this time of year used to trigger in me, right? I was so triggered around this time of year. I was so upset, wishing I was like joyful and celebratory with like happy family and whatever, rather than being bummed out and depressed, which was how I was, you know, and I had myself with all of this spare time that everyone else was spending with family and friends and being happy or, you know, being in these dysfunctional like entrapments with family that are unhealthy, right? And so there's a weird kind of mix of things going on. And so I had the time, right, to really dive deep, specifically around spirituality this time of year, to create new rituals for myself, to create more space for myself as a spiritual being around this time of year, and how to ask my spiritual people for help around this time of year, right? That's something all of you can do right now. If you are floating this time of year, whether you absolutely love this time of year, whether you hate this time of year, wherever you're at, it's a great time to dive into your spirituality because we can always go deeper, right? And maybe you know a bunch of the magic stuff, but you're not actually applying it to change your life, right? And I do think that Christmas time, holiday time, that is when we have to face the music. Did we level up from last year, or are we still in our weird spirals of dysfunction and drama and misery? What changes have we made since the last year? And some of us are going to be really happy with the answer that we have to that question, and some of us are going to be really kind of like disappointed in ourselves, right? And I think we realize that this time of year. And so I just know that in the past, when I was working through my trauma shit in all caps, this time of year really would fuck me up. And if I didn't turn to magic, tarot, and the spiritual and ritual and spiritual boundaries and tarot skills and spiritual protection and my relationship with the land, the spirits, the ancestors, all of that, and affirmations and manifestation, all of that stuff, if I didn't go into all of that to anchor me, I would have gotten totally off course. And I know that there was moments when I just felt too exhausted to dive into the spirituality, or too depressed, or too whatever, and I was fully swept off my path, right? And so I think if we are one of those folks that's upset during this time, I think leaning into the spiritual is one way to really ground and root ourselves into our future right now, right? And so, you know, depending on where you're at, maybe this time of year reminds you of past struggle. Maybe you feel completely overwhelmed by everyone pulling on you, whether it's kids, parents, step-parents, your partner's family, just like being pulled in every which way. This time of year can really be a test of where we're at spiritually, right? And in general, do we hold true to what feels good to us? Do we continue to honor the routines and rituals, spiritual or otherwise, that matter to us when we've got a lot on our plate? How do we cope with the hardship of a loved one having passed since last time this year? Or maybe you're recovering from a health thing or 2 or 3 or 4. And you might even be feeling contemplative as the new year is around the corner and thinking about the gap between what you want and what you have. whether that's just more time for yourself, a loyal partner, a better job, more inner peace, whatever. And Sagittarius season right now, it's a time of reflection, introspection. What do we want for ourselves next year, right? I'm thinking about this a lot these days. Huge. This is the time to be thinking about that. What do we want for ourselves next year? These last 6 weeks of the year can be especially powerful and potent if we create space to let it be that. But you have to create the space for it. You've got to set the intention for it, right? It's a great time to work with and anchor into new spiritual skills and tools to get ourselves closer to who we want to be, where we want to be, and how we want to feel. And for Black Friday, I want to share some of this magic, some of my magic with you if you'll let me. Everything I teach, as you guys probably know, is what got me to where I'm at now, which I would describe as happy, whole, chill, no drama, and overflowing with self-worth. I know I'm like laughing as I'm saying it because it feels kind of crazy to think back on who I used to be. And it's like, damn, I did that. How cool. And one of the things that's really kept me on, on a good way is there could have been so many different opportunities for me to stray from where I'm at now, right? It was spirituality and witchcraft and tarot and all of this stuff that I'm so passionate about teaching to you guys. All of this is what has helped me move through various storms or drama or bullshit or whatever. And I want to give y'all access to the things in my brain. And so the offerings available for this very special Black Friday sale are all 50% off. And so, as I said before, this is the biggest sale I've ever done, ever. And so I don't know, I've got a really good feeling about 2024. I don't know why. 2023 was a bit of a shit show for me, and I think a lot of other people. I was kind of like blah and kind of, I don't know. It was an interesting year. Let's just say that. And so I would like to give you guys the tools to navigate next year, right? To level up your spirituality. And so I just wanted to outline all of the things that are available at 50% off, which are going to be until, Tuesday night at midnight on Eastern time. And so let me just briefly outline, I swear it's going to be brief, what I do have available for 50% off until Tuesday. So first and foremost, this is the biggest deal, you guys. This is huge. So the Magic of Business online course. So this is usually $2,222, and I am making this available for Black Friday for $1,111. I don't usually do this like hippie, new agey pricing, but for that one, for some reason, it just feels correct. I don't know. Don't ask. And so this course, it's not the same as my Without Bullshit courses. This is 100% recorded from live lectures. So the format of it is really different from the Without Bullshit. There is no worksheets. The big part about this is I want to push people out of their comfort zone. So instead of just giving you guys boring templates like regurgitate and recipes, it's more just like, okay, let's help you guys understand all the foundations of what you need to know as a new business person. This is very mindset heavy. This is very vibes heavy. This is very purpose heavy. This is very, how do you reconnect with that inner fire that will propel you into being a successful business person? It is not the intricacies of a funnel or whatever that is going to really impact the success of your business long term. Like, yeah, that stuff is important. That's not what I'm teaching here. This is really a class for the new or new-ish business owner looking to reignite their passion, connect with their purpose, and propel themselves into the next up-leveled version of their reality, specifically around a kind of solopreneur type of business. Really excited about that. So next up, we've got the Tarot Boss Masterclass. So instead of $350, this one is down to $175. And this one is for the intermediate to advanced tarot reader who wants to turn their tarot skills into a career or a side hustle, And so if you are someone who wants to create a tarot business, I would recommend grabbing the Tarot Boss Masterclass as well as the Magic of Business. That'd be my reco for any budding new folks who want to work with tarot as their career. Next up, I've got the Tarot at the End of the World masterclass, which I taught at the beginning of the pandemic before there was vaccines or anything like that. And this one is down from $250 to $125. And this one is for the tarot junkie who wants to know how to read all the most fucking insane, crazy cards and stay grounded no matter what crisis is popping up. And so this is like another name for this class could have been Tarot in Times of Crisis, or like how to read the craziest cards, or, stuff like that. I pulled a bunch of cards that reminded me of the conflicts that we're experiencing in the pandemic. Obviously, the Tower would be one. Obviously, Death would be one. Obviously, the Hermit would be one. And so I go through a bunch of major arcana and minors, not the entire deck, but a pretty large number of cards that do talk about these kind of crisis point moments. So even though we're not in that height of pandemic anymore, a lot of the fear around it has kind of subsided for most of us. It's still an incredibly valuable masterclass on how to read really stressful cards. So if you are afraid of any particular cards, or if you hate it when you pull the Tower, I would really recommend checking out that masterclass. Okay, so next up, I've got the Witchcraft, Plastic Surgery, and Feminine Energy masterclass, which I taught last summer. That was really, really fun after my procedure. That is down from $250 to $125. And so I would say this one is for the witch who is getting surgery or any kind of medical procedure, whether that is cosmetic like plastics or whether it's mandatory for health reasons. Like last year I had 2 surgeries. I had a cosmetic thing as well as I got my tonsils out. And so I had a medical procedure on Monday and another one on Tuesday. And so regardless of whether it's cosmetic and, just for aesthetics, or whether it is something that you have to do, you can't avoid it for health reasons and all of that, I think this is valuable for anyone who is interfacing with the medical system and who wants to know how to magically prepare for and schedule their medical procedures, regardless of what kind of procedure it is. Obviously, I also talk about feminine energy a little bit, gender exploration, and embodiment. So obviously with that plastic surgery journey for me, there is a feminine energy and gender play component to that. And I relate that to witchcraft and magic, obviously. And so if any of that is interesting to you guys, I would recommend jumping on that Witchcraft, Plastic Surgery, and Feminine Energy masterclass. Again, down from $250 to $125. That is an absolute steal. So next up, we have the Recession Era Witchcraft Masterclass, down from $250 to $125. And honestly, as I'm going through this, I'm like, damn, I've taught a lot of masterclasses over the past few years. It's bonkers. And so I would say this one is for the witch interested in money magic, budget-friendly witchcraft, and how to work with the cheapest as supplies to do magic and where to find them, and also how to make witchcraft supplies out of literally whatever you have lying around in your house. So this is very much survival level magical skills, applying magic and witchcraft to just basic everyday stuff that you have at your house, figuring out how to do survival magic in lean times. Like if you're super broke, if you can't buy anything else, how can you still do magic? And how can you do money magic as well, like money drawing, money attracting, all of that type of stuff is also in this masterclass. Next up, this one is the only workshop, and so I fucking love this one. So Visualizing Energy Work Workshop, down from $250 to $125. And so for this one, this is super cool. So this is the only one where I'm actually leading you through stuff step by step and guiding you guys through something. So for those of you guys who are still a bit confused about what all this energy work stuff is, and I know I talk about energy and energy work a lot, because for me, it's the foundation of all witchcraft. It's the foundation of all magic. It's, if you can't work with it, your magic is probably going to flop, honestly. And so if you want to be walked through how to actually do it, and if you don't mind busting out some crayons or markers or colored pencils, because we actually draw it out as we visualize, this is for you. And I love this because the visualization, the drawing element of it, especially with color, it really helps you guys see what the difference in your energy actually is, right? Because oftentimes people are like, oh, I tried it, but it didn't work. And I'm like, no. Like, let's slow down and see what we actually feel, and let's visualize it so we can visually see, literally on paper, the difference between how we feel during these different exercises. So again, that's the Visualizing Energy Work Workshop, down to $125. And last but definitely not the least is the Claim Your Magic Affirmation Series, down from $97 to $48.50. And so this is perfect for anyone who's curious about affirmations and who isn't sure how they work or why they should give a single shit about it. It's for the person who is shy or confused about creating their own affirmations, or who works better when someone else provides the structure. I've told so many people to create their own affirmations, and I've had a lot of people look at me like a deer in the headlights of like, oh my God, I don't know what I would say. I don't know how to do that. And I get it. Like, it's so easy to feel paralyzed. And so that's why I made this very chill affirmation series. Is I'm reading out the stuff. It has 10 recordings, 6 affirmations on various things from self-worth to body love to various other stuff, worthiness. And so this is a great fit for anyone who's looking to dip their toes into spiritual stuff. Honestly, it's super good. These affirmations, honestly, people think affirmations are cheesy, but it's really transformed my life in a really positive way. Like, I really can't overstate that. And so this is a really financially accessible, dip your toes into the spiritual stuff. If you're curious about any of this, just give it a go. And so you can see links to all of this stuff at sabrinamscott.com/Black Friday. And so you're going to want to use the coupon Black Friday, one word, at checkout, and it will give you 50% off. So if you guys have got any questions about any of this, feel free to reach out to me on email, on Instagram. You guys probably should know how to contact me by now. CEO@sabrinamscott.com or Sabrina M. Scott on Instagram. Just reach out. Instagram sometimes filters my DMs, so email is probably the more reliable way to get in touch with me, because I don't always get DMs until like a week later, which is a little bit weird. I just realized that recently. But do go check that out, sabrinamscott.com/Black Friday. Creep around, look at the stuff, save some money. If you are someone who has been following my work for years, but you haven't bought any course from me, this is a really, really great opportunity to just dive into my work at a pretty affordable rate. See if you like my vibe. If you've been creeping my podcast, if you've been creeping my YouTube, if you've been creeping my Instagram, you probably have a pretty good idea of what you'd be getting yourself into. But I would just really encourage y'all to jump on whatever resonates, whatever which thing you want to change for yourself for next year and for the rest of this year, and really end the year on a good, positive, and spiritual note. So, okay, friends, I've already talked for way too long, so that is the episode for today. Again, you can check it out, sabrinamscott.com/Black Friday, one word. Check it out. I'm super excited about this, my biggest sale of all time. Yay! Happy Black Friday, friends. Happy sales, happy savings, happy getting everything that you want, and, I don't know, expanding and just being awesome. And I love you guys, and I will have another podcast episode for you guys tomorrow. And if you haven't watched or listened to the tarot for the week ahead that I did on Tuesday a few days ago, you're going to want to go creep that on YouTube, youtube.com/Sabrina Scott. And of course, I'll be doing another one this coming Tuesday. Okay, friends, that's it. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.